Thank you for joining us for this edition of Santa Ana College Close Up. I'm Andrew Lapp. I have some amazing guests here today, but we're going to start with a peek inside SAC's music department. Take a look.
Santa Ana College is home to a thriving music department, comprised of talented instrumental and choral students. Classes are scheduled to provide opportunities for students to participate in group rehearsals no matter their schedule, and private practice rooms are available for students to use outside of class as well. Different varieties of vocal and instrumental ensembles cover many different music genres to appeal to anyone with more traditional tastes to those who enjoy more eclectic sound.
Welcome back. Here to talk about SAC's music department is Dr. Elliot Jones. Elliot, thanks for being here today.
It's a pleasure.
So, just a brief introduction to you. What is it that you do here at SAC for the music department? Title, position, you know.
Sure. We call my position the Director of Choral and Vocal Music, but really I think of myself as the choir director.
Okay.
That's kind of that was my main area of study in grad school, was conducting choral ensembles, and that was the part I was most nervous about during the hiring interview. So that's a main focus of what I do. But I do also teach group voice instruction, class voice, and teach some general music as well.
Okay. So pretty broad, but mainly focused on like choir voice kind of ensembles. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit more brief overview about the music department, because I know there are more than just vocal ensembles, and there's actually quite a few vocal ensembles even just within that own category, or you know. Could you give us like a little bit of like a run through of like the different ensembles that SAC offers?
We have a very active performing ensemble program. So we have the concert band, the chamber orchestra. I'm really afraid I'm going to forget something right now. The mariachi ensemble.
It's not a quiz. You're okay.
Yeah, so maybe we can grade it here. We do have the two choirs that I direct. We have a guitar ensemble, and so just about any instrument that someone plays or any pursuit they want to follow in terms of vocal music, we have an ensemble to meet those needs. We have even had more in the past. We've had to consolidate some of those ensembles in recent years with downturns and so forth. We're looking forward to growing our ensemble offerings in the future.
Yeah, and I think you guys have done a little bit already to kind of broaden the appeal to students. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We have recently, in the choral program, we have been doing concerts of anime music, and then branching out from there into anime, other film, video game music. It really grew out of an experience that I had with Professor John Marr, who's our department chair. He has for many years gone to anime conventions and given presentations about composers and some of their stylistic influences. And he asked me to come along a couple of years ago to one of those and talk a bit about some of the vocal selections he had.
Okay.
And as I saw the energy and the passion that the anime community had for the music, I talked to John about the possibility of putting together a concert program, and it kind of grew into the Anime Spectacular 2 semesters ago, from which our current concert, the Songs from the Screen, has grown.
And have you seen a lot of people become more interested, through that sort of through that path?
Yeah, we're really excited about the level of interest. We've seen larger audiences come out. I think as we get more audiences for those particular concerts, I think as the anime community becomes more aware of what we're doing, we'll see increased enrollment in the ensembles. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've actually, I had the opportunity to sit in on one of the rehearsals for that. It was pretty cool, and I noticed something that I haven't noticed with other like music ensembles here at SAC, is that there was the choral section, but you guys also had some instrumental backup as well.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the music for, and not all, but much of the music for anime comes out of popular genres. So there's a heavy rock and pop influence. Mm-hmm. So an awful lot of the pieces on our Anime Spectacular program and on our Songs from the Screen program are accompanied by a rock band. We've got electric guitar, bass, multiple keyboards, drums.
Did you guys pull the instrumentalists from other ensembles here at SAC?
We have some student performers that are playing with us. We also have faculty that are playing.
Okay.
So I mentioned the guitar ensemble. The director of the guitar ensemble is Professor David Adele. He's soloing on guitar. So
Okay.
we'll do the Pokemon theme, and he rages on that solo. That's Professor Professor Adele. And Mike Wachs, who teaches history of music, is playing drums for us this go around.
Okay.
And our department chair, John Marr, who I mentioned earlier, is holding forth on the keyboards.
Oh, wow.
And during that Pokemon theme, he will be throwing stuffed Pokemon at the audience.
Okay.
That's that part.
That's funny. Yeah,
Softly.
Safety first,
safe,
right? Of
absolutely.
course. Oh man, that's funny. So how is it doing like a collaboration like that between faculty and students? Like, what's the production process like for that?
Well, I mean, the collaborative aspect is the best part of, I think, the best part's the music. Let me correct myself. But but one of the really exciting parts for me personally is the chance to not just be kind of the sole director up in front of the ensemble. That's wonderful, and I love that experience. But it's, I think, even richer when you can bring in other skilled musicians. One of the really neat things about the work we've done recently with anime music and video game music is there really isn't a lot of choral. There aren't choral versions of that music out there readily available. So John, Dr. Kahlenbach, myself, we've been arranging this music. So the collaborative
right,
process has preceded the performance by quite a long time. And we'll work together to talk about, well, that's going to work for, but that's a little too high right there. I think this rhythm might be challenging. It'll be easier. It works for a soloist, but for an ensemble, we're going to need to adjust that. And so the chance to kind of share that creative process with other composers and performers is really exciting.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty exciting. Getting back to just like the music program, the students though, real quick. What are some of I've known of a couple people who have come out of the program and gone on to do like some pretty cool things. But could you tell us about maybe a few of them?
Well, we're really proud of all our alumni. Just yesterday. A young man named Dominic Collins came back. He was in the choir a handful of years ago, sang a lot of semesters with us. He came back to say hi and to tell me about this studio he's opened in Santa Ana. A recording studio that he's not only having people record there, but helping people with some of the social media aspects of promoting their music. So it was a huge payday just to have a student come back from several years ago and say, hey, I've got this business. I've started a business. Another alumni I'll tell you about, Annetta Augustin. At the time she sang with us, now married Annetta Gilbert. I hope I got her last name right. Sorry, Stuart, if I got it wrong. Stuart works in IT at the district office.
Oh, okay.
But Annetta sang in the choir in some of the early years, back in the early 2000s, just after I'd been hired. Went on, got her bachelor's, master's, did some performing, I believe did some performing with opera companies in Europe. She's been spending some years at home raising her young children. And just a few weeks ago, I reached out to her after talking to her husband after a technology committee meeting.
Okay.
And said, hey, is Annetta performing? Could we give her a call? So the choirs are doing a selection of pieces from Handel's Messiah on the 1st of December, and she's going to be performing the soprano arias.
Oh, wow.
So it's really, again, we're kind of a neat circle as a very successful alumna has come back, and they're going to be performing with us.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you guys, that's awesome that you have like alumni coming back. But you also have several concerts throughout the semester, beyond just the anime one. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
I think Stuart's last name might be Davis. It's okay. Embarrassed about that. Shouldn't know her name.
We'll send him a basket.
Yeah, that's right. Fruit basket on the way. Well, all those ensembles I mentioned, concert band, chamber orchestra, mariachi, they all have a performance to round out the semester. We generally do our concerts as we head into the last couple weeks of the semester. We don't want to be performing on finals week. So you'll find that most of our concerts are scheduled, like I mentioned, the choir is doing December 1st. So that week prior, and even sometimes the weekend before, so that'd be week 14 and 15, we'll have a lot of our ensemble performances. And all those concert events are available on our website. So if someone were to go to sac.edu/FPA, Fine and Performing Arts, they'd see not only the music department, but all of the Fine Arts Division's performances, and they can then buy tickets there.
Have you noticed students like using that as like, adding that to their portfolios? And
I think now you mean the performances or
Yeah, the performances.
Yeah, absolutely. The performance experience is key for any musician, even if they're going into a field that isn't performance oriented. Maybe someone's going into theory or history. That's their long-term goal. But you have to understand what the performance experience is like, even in those fields. So even for those that aren't looking at performance for their goals, or even those students who are not they're not music majors, they're doing this for fun. What they're really chasing is that kind of transcendent moment in a concert where the stars kind of align.
Yeah.
You feel that those tingles in the back of your neck, and you're like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
And that experience is it can be life changing. It was an experience like that led me to this career.
Okay.
But also it can inform all sorts of other things that you do. So they can carry that into whatever field they're experiencing.
Yeah.
Music or otherwise.
I've noticed that a lot. I mean, with a lot of my classes here at SAC, like you really kind of like get that hands-on experience, and that gives you more of like what you really need to understand whatever that field is, you know, whether it's like TV and video or music, I'm sure. Absolutely. Elliot, unfortunately, that's going to be all our time today, but thank you very much for joining me.
No, thank you.
We're going to go take a quick break, but we'll be right back to hear from one of SAC's band students.
I chose Santa College because financial issue first, and second because I know there's a good program for music in here.
I chose to come to Santa Ana College because it is a local school and I did not want to drive that far.
I chose here because I was already enrolled into middle college, which is basically I was enrolled in SAC classes and I was doing high school classes at the same time.
The professors, honestly, at universities, it seems like professors never have any time for the individual student, and that's the complete opposite here.
The guidance I have here, because I'm in EOPS, I feel like I'm not by myself, like I'm not confused about anything, they just help me so much with my classes, my ed plan, and it's just like, I have counselors there to support me.
I think my favorite part about Santa Ana College is just the atmosphere and everybody around it.
Hello again. My next guest is Israel Hernandez, one of SAC's very own band students. Izzy, thank you very much for being here.
Pleasure, thank you.
All right. So you were telling me before we went on that you're in SAC's concert band, but you also do mariachi, is that correct?
Yeah. I also do the jazz band too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm involved in like 3 different bands, and it can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but in the end, I love it. It's music, and it's something that I think a lot of people should really come to understand. It's like music is what we call the universal language, right? So yeah, I mean, I dig it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you play, what was it again?
I play the trombone. Yeah,
Okay.
trombone. Well, for a lot of people don't know what it is or what it looks like. They think it's a trumpet, but it's the one that extends out.
It's the sliding one.
Yeah, that
Okay.
one.
You can tell I'm such a music expert. The sliding one.
Yeah.
No, that's great, man. But so you're in jazz, mariachi, concert. What's concert? Because I mean, jazz and mariachi, I get it. But like, what do you guys typically do in like concert band?
Yeah.
What's the kind of material like?
So in concert band, we usually rehearse like a set of repertoire that, well, I guess it's more along the lines of like classical music, and it's really cool because you that's where all the training that you get from like your lessons and all that stuff really applies. So, you're playing a note and you want to make sure that it's like right into, because if it's not, then it can kind of like disorient the band, right?
Yeah.
And, I think down to the fundamental level, concert band is where, people get to really, truly emphasize like how, like their instrument, and how they should play it, and like, just how it should sound, and it's really cool, I think it gives students a good opportunity to kind of realize, like what kind of sounds they can produce on their instrument, but also giving them a good outlet to just play with a whole bunch of other people, have similar interests, and yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun in there.
Yeah, I got to sit in on one of your guys' rehearsals for a little bit.
Yeah.
I noticed you guys all just seemed really like, there's a big like variety of people I noticed.
Yeah.
And everyone seemed like really driven. Like, how does that like, I don't know, how do you think that's like accurate?
Yeah, I think what the cool thing about concert band, and like I mentioned earlier, music is kind of like a universal language, right? And so you have people from all different backgrounds, just coming together and playing, music, right? And it's really cool, because I don't think that you can find that sort of outlet really anywhere else. I'm sure if you dig deep enough, maybe. But you know, as of now, I think music is really, really something that really energizes a lot of people, you know. And the fact that we have a concert band, it's really cool, you know, because it gives students, like I said earlier, that opportunity to kind of just play with groups and, you know, kind of just play together. It's really fun. It
So
really
when
is.
did you start playing trombone? Like, was it something that started like in grade school? Or?
Yeah, no, I actually started playing my 8th grade year in junior high, right? And our teacher, he introduced us to the jazz band, right? And it was really cool because one of the first songs that got me into it was In the Mood by Glenn Miller. And so after I heard that song, I'm like, whoa, what am I missing out on, you know? And then slowly Frank Sinatra, and then, you know, it just geared me more towards like jazz and all that stuff. And I guess it was through my affinity with jazz that I started playing, you know, the trombone, right? 8th grade year. So now I've been playing for about 5 years, give or take. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh boy, here.
yeah. But it's a lot of fun, you know. And I especially love the kind of environment that our program brings, you know, when it comes to jazz too. A lot of students, what I love about the jazz program in particular is that you have some professionals who are in there helping students as well. And so, you know, you're in this class mixed with a whole bunch of different people, you know, all different levels, but it's still really cool to have some professionals in there who can kind of, you know, gear the band towards sounding really, really cool, you know. And so it kind of motivates, you know, others who are less experienced and all that stuff to kind of get out of their comfort zone and play a little more, you know, with, I guess, the standard, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Yeah.
Do you feel like I know going between like jazz and mariachi, like that sounds like something that would be like kind of disorienting for someone. But like, how's that been for you? And like, have you noticed that? Like, how are the professors helping you with that?
Yeah, it's funny because like you don't really see a trombonist in a mariachi. So I actually sing in the mariachi. So that's one of the things that one of the reasons why I wanted to join, right? Just so that I can sing. But in terms of like transitioning, you know, to mariachi, the style and all that stuff, it's not that completely different, because I like to think of mariachi as sort of like Mexico's kind of jazz, you know. I mean, they have Latin jazz and all that stuff, but you know, really, truly, the expression of that you would give in a mariachi, you know, when you're playing and all that stuff, it translates similarly into jazz, you know. So they both have their kind of
there's a similarity.
Yeah, they have their similarities, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's really cool, and the professors they're really understanding at the fact that, you know, this is, you know, I don't play mariachi, this is a trombone, but you know, they still let me, you know, and it's they help out and they give me tips. Hey, you know, try to sound like this, or try to play higher, or this and that, you know. So it really helps me, you know, trying to transition over to, you know, what I was comfortable with, you know, jazz and all that stuff, to now something different. You know?
Now you have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. So by force, you know, but you know, I'm digging it. You know, it's really fun.
And you guys do get opportunities to perform, right?
Of course. Yeah, we have some concerts coming up. We have them in our bulletin, but I know we have our mariachi concert coming up in November 15th. So that's going to be on a Friday, and you know, it's welcome to anybody, right? You know, but we do charge a bit. You know, we need funding, right?
I mean, come on, like there's no such thing as a free lunch.
No, that's true. Yeah, but
how the like your past concerts gone, and like what's that experience been like?
Oh, it's wonderful, because you have literally a community of people going to those concerts just to support, you know, our music program, right? People who aren't in the music program, people from outside, you know, who don't even attend the school. It's open to anybody, right? So it's really cool seeing that community, right, of people just going and just enjoying good music, you know. And I think that really speaks volumes to the kind of community that we're building up here in Santa Ana, you know.
Do all the ensembles like get a chance to do their own concerts? Like, is there a mariachi concert? I'm sure there's jazz concerts.
Yeah, of course.
I think I've been to one of the jazz ones. But I didn't even know that we had a mariachi thing until just this semester.
Yeah. No, of course, all the bands that you see, all the groups, performing groups, we all have our own specified date of our concerts and whatnot. And you can find that in our performing arts calendar. You know, we have our guitar ensemble, we have our choir, we have our, of course, mariachi, jazz band, our concert band. And so it's just a wide variety of just different groups participating. And what's cool about being able to participate and, you know, performing is that we have our applied recitals, right? So for those students who are music majors were required to go to an applied recital, which is basically a free concert that they host in the C102.
Okay.
And just this past Tuesday, we had our performance with the mariachi, which went absolutely phenomenal, right? And you know, it's just C102. That's where we have our applied concerts every Tuesdays at 5 and every Fridays at 12:30. So it's just different performing groups, you know,
Okay.
just there so that we.
So
can
you guys get like a lot of opportunities to
yeah,
perform then.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. And you know, I think recently we actually started a music club, and so with that, you know, students who want to like perform just around school events, different school functions, they'll get that opportunity to do so with this club, right? And it's a great opportunity for anybody who's interested in wanting to, you know, go back to playing their instrument, or, you know, they were once passionate playing in high school, and then this music club gives students a good opportunity to, you know, kind of see where they can perform and perform at different gigs, just performing in front of people, right? Back in the good old days. So
yeah, do you feel like that element of performance, like public performance, does that help you like kind of sharpen your skills a little bit?
Most definitely. I think with the performances we have, we gain a little sense of fulfillment, you know, of satisfaction, because you know, we're doing all these rehearsals here and there, and then the end of the day, it's really so that we can play it for the people, you know. Because what good is a concert if there aren't any people, right? Yeah. But it gives students a sense of fulfillment, you know, like, oh, you know, let's do it, you know, all that hard work, all of that, you know, thing that we're practicing, coming down to this very moment when we're performing, you know. And it gives them, you know, a little more after the performance. It gives them more of a sense of like, yeah, I want some more, you know. Let's do this and that, right? So that's what I'm kind of
pressure's
doing.
on.
Yeah.
Pressure's on, but that's how you get like a good end product.
Definitely, most definitely. But I think a little pressure is good here and there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Izzy,
awesome.
thank you so much for talking to me.
Of course.
That's about our time. Thanks again for joining me, guys, and check back next week for the next episode of SAC Close Up. Oh, dude, you did great, man. All right. Yeah.